Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome to a best of 3 between the current world champion and the fastest rising player in the top 15 currently. I'm talking about Solar and Clem. Solar has gone up a crap ton in his overall world ranking over the past few weeks. I'm not sure what this guy has been eating. I'm not sure what he has been doing. Maybe he started working out. Maybe he stopped working out. You know, you always hear these great stories like, I started working out, I started running and my life changed. But maybe for some people, what they really needed to do is to, stop doing any cardiovascular activity to really max their StarCraft 2 skills. I'm a huge fan of Illegal Luck, as some of you might know, and Illegal Luck uses a system of arrows in order to indicate whether someone is getting better or is getting worse. And if you get 1 arrow, you're doing a little bit better, 2 arrows, you're doing quite a bit better, and 3 arrows, you're on an absolute hot streak. Right now, I believe Solar has 3 arrows in almost every single matchup, so he's performing way above his standard level. And as I said, I don't quite know what he has been doing different, but he's been giving Clem a run for his money in some tournaments. I believe he even managed to take him out once or twice, which hadn't happened in a very long time. Even on a map basis, he hadn't done that in a long time. So this is actually quite exciting. It is the big dog himself, Mr. Worldwide, the champ, versus Solar. It's weird to call someone who's been playing this game for 15 years an up-and-comer, but he's a big up-and-comer right now, let me tell you, okay? He barged into the top 10, and he's ready to take some more Illegal Luck points away from Clem. Let's see if he's going to be capable of doing this, as we have a triple CC opener out of the French champ. As what is Solar doing? Solar actually, he has held himself to a certain standard over the past few years, a very standard operating procedure when it comes to Terran versus Zerg. He kind of has 2 branches on this tree of ZVT that he kind of just walks down. The first one is a relatively quick lair into bailing speed, and then double Evo chambers, boom, melee upgrade, carapace upgrade, and we're going into Hydraling Bane Viper, couple of lurkers with a Nidus, and then boom, Hydraling Bane Viper until the end of time. That is what he loves doing. However, every now and again he mixes in the fast double Evo chamber, which usually gets thrown down in the natural, and getting quicker upgrades before lair, making it a bit harder to deal with potential banshees, but much faster upgrades. Ling run-bys become a little bit more potent as well, because these Lings are better upgraded. Now, here comes Clem's going to attempt to go for a little run-by as Solar is out of position with his first 2 queens. There is still 1 queen that's now desperately trying to make its way into the main base. He's gonna get the block up on 2 of those cars, which is actually quite nice. Well done. Good maneuvering there, honestly, as Clem runs in with another 2 Hellions. Quite a bit of mining time is being lost here. 3 Hellions, of course, enough to one-shot a single drone. 2 drones go down, make that 5 drones going down, make that 6. Is this worth it? 6 drones going down against 4 cars. Now, I think in the past, when people have evaluated these types of situations, they'd be like, oh, 4 cars versus 6 drones, that's really not worth it. But we shouldn't forget that Clem is doing this very early on in the game. And every drone that you kill early on in the game is a drone that is better, right? It's better to kill them early. So the difference between killing 5 drones at 4 minutes and killing 5 drones at 5 minutes is just about, what, like 300 minerals of income that you have gathered extra already. So basically, the earlier you kill them and the more you kill early, like that is huge. There's a big snowball effect there that really adds on. So I definitely do believe it to be worth it if you're this early on in the game to lose 4 Hellions to kill 6 drones, no matter how bad it feels from kind of a straight up financial perspective. If you just look at like the cost of each unit, the resource loss perspective, I guess. 2 queens over here will want to push this creep out even a little bit further, as Clem is going to be sending the Banshee into the dead space for now. Is this just a single Banshee or is it a second? Okay, the second one's going to be on the way. We have Cloak. We've seen a couple of Terrans, and when I say a couple of Terrans, I mean mainly Beyond, opt for skipping the Cloak altogether I've seen him do that quite a few times now, allowing him to get those faster tanks out, often allowing him to get these quick upgrades in, basically allowing him to do everything he wants in life without really having to struggle, because you just have that 100 extra gas, 100 extra minerals, and the build just runs really smoothly. Clem says, no, actually, I do want that cloak. I think it's important for me. He's going to use it right now, but there is a spore there providing visions. It's not the end of the world. Solar's going to lose 4 more drones here, 6 minutes in. Oh, he's going to lose 5 more. Quite a bit of damage here in the first 6 minutes, and I've watched enough Clem games to know what's about to come then, alright? There's really 2 scenarios with Clem. Scenario 1 is the game is even if he opens like this, and then he's going to start dropping you, and he might kill you, but he might also not. However, if Clem is ahead after the early game because he dealt some damage, most of the time Zerg players just die against the first or the second drop. It is insane to watch. Ooh. Okay, this is different already. We're going into Roach Glial Reconstitution, late double Evo, and Infestation Pit, plus Baneling Nest. So I'm expecting melee upgrades still, but we have Roaches for safety here. Perhaps kind of realizing that his early game wasn't that great, and wants to perhaps transition into a fast hive on the back of these Roaches, providing him with a little bit of safety at least. Do we have a tank? Okay, we do have a tank moving across the map. It is double Banshee, 4 Hellions. What is this? Like, oh my god, it's a lot of Marines. Like 20 Marines or so over here. 20 Marines. Clem is not going to commit though after he sees the Roaches. I think he's afraid, and perhaps that is the correct call, but I do think Solar kind of got away with murder because his Roach count actually wasn't that high. He only had 10 and 9 links, and there were a crap ton of Marines. I really do believe that Clem has the ability to move across the map and deal some serious damage. There is a fort base on the way, so this is really not that all in. It's actually just a standard game. We have, ooh, second tech lab. Clem might believe he's playing against Mass Roach, but it's actually Roachling Bane. Once he sees, did he see the Baneling Nest? Okay, he did see the Baneling Nest there, and he probably should, as a result, start doing something with at least his drops. He's being way more passive than he usually is. Yes, he's still roaming around with Heli and Banshee, but I kind of expected him to be out on the map with Marines as well, maybe clearing some creeps, seeing if he can snipe a Queen here or there. It seems to me like he just wants to keep as many units alive and go for a fat big push over here. He's actually going to snatch those rocks down. That is interesting. Couple of Ravagers now on the way. Baneling speed not quite finishing yet. Neither has 1-1 though. That actually could be a massive issue. As these Marines, they stim in forward. Queens need to transfuse one. Another one Queen goes down. Second Queen goes down. Third Queen goes down. And the fort base is toast. Baneling speed hasn't quite finished yet. 13 seconds away, 1-1 hasn't quite finished yet, but this base, you can't really afford to lose it here. Overlord's going down already as well. Is now, Solar is going to try to stop it. Baneling speed finishes up right after the start of the engagement. I think a tank goes down, Viper's on the way. We have an Ultra Cavern coming in as well. So it's definitely a switch away from what Solar usually does, but not a very successful switch so far, as Clem still very active here with these Marines. Has managed to take out a base already. Fort base is flying over. This is not an 8-Rex push. Clem does not need to win with this right here, right now. He has plenty of time. He's transitioning into 3 more barracks. 2-2 is over halfway done as well. And Solar is just struggling to even kind of scrape the money together to get that +2 melee out. He can't afford Adrenal Glands either. And these are important upgrades that he's just not getting right now. Banshee's continuing to deal damage, as I honestly believe that this is going to be the final few seconds here of this game. And as a GG gets called, Clem wins game number 1. We've already zoomed into our second map on Persephone, one of the few new maps that has been introduced into the pool. So if you don't recognize it, don't worry, you haven't been out, well, maybe you have been out of touch, but yeah, actually, it's possible you've been out of touch. In that case, welcome back, brother. Or sister. I know there's some of you out there. Every now and again, I check my statistics, geographical statistics, age, gender. I believe I have more 65-year-olds watching me than people under the age of 18. That is something I'm proud of, by the way. Lots of wisdom here in the YouTube comments. That's why they're always so smart as well under all of my videos. Most of the time people make fun of the YouTube comments, but under my videos, boy, it's some high-level intellectual discussion right there. And also I believe the ratio between male and female is something like 99.4% to 0.6. So, yeah. To all the ladies out there, the 3 of you, welcome aboard as well. Personal call out. What were we talking about? Persephone, right. There you go. Yeah, new map. It's a fun one. At least I think I've seen like 2 games on it. It has a healing fountain, which is mighty interesting. And we haven't had that on a lot of maps yet. Oh my god, it's gonna come in again. It's gonna get 4 kills here. And this was just off of 2 Hellions as well. No, it's off 2 Hellions and a Reaper. A couple of Lynx might go down too. Another thing that's kind of nefarious about this is that these types of Hellion run-bys, they cut like at 2 places at the same time for the Zerg. So first of all, you're gonna lose some drones. So if you lose like 2-3 drones, that sucks. But also you're going to be forced into building a couple more links. So we see 6 more links on the way because 4 links have already died. These are potential drones too, right? These 6 extra links that just got built. It's not like instant damage, but it's still indirect damage that is being dealt here to Solar. So these early Hellion run-bys, I'm actually a huge fan of them. And I think a lot of Terrans are too afraid to do them because they're afraid of the potential run-bys that are going to happen. Solar's going to lose this Overlord as well. It's going to now try to attack these Hellions. Actually might have worked. Clem for once wasn't paying attention, but Solar trusted Clem's mechanics so much that he said, no, actually, I'm not going to sit here and fight because I believe you'll respond in time. I think he probably could have killed 1 Hellion there, but he didn't because he respected his opponent too much. This is why you should never respect your opponent. Ever. Double Evo now coming out. Okay, so this is what I was talking about previously. Early double Evo chambers. It's going to be fine this time around because there is no Banshee. It's instead a barracks on a reactor. Solar has spotted that already. This is one of the easier builds to deal with from a Zerg perspective. Because this is way less dynamic than Hellion Banshee. Right? There's going to be a push with 2 medevacs at a predetermined timing. If you're a Zerg player, you should know this predetermined timing. I actually don't know this because I am not a Zerg player, but if you do this off of it's 5 Hellion, then I guess it's going to hit at maybe 6 minutes or so, or 5:55. And look at this. Solar should probably be cutting workers right now, going up to 63, which is a very reasonable worker count, by the way. I really do like that number. And he's just going to have plenty of units ready. So despite taking a little bit of damage in the early game, his position here is much better because Clem just has 1 threat and Solar can pretty much just straight up prepare for it. Like he's not struggling with this whatsoever. As Clem's gonna probably kill some... Oh, he wanted to go kill some... There were no queens in position there. Could have killed a tumor, perhaps even this Overlord, but he's not gonna commit to it. 1-1 upgrades are about halfway done, so they're actually ahead of the Terran, of his Terran counterpart here. 4th base is on the way. This is an odd position. This is also really weird, by the way. So if you're wondering what this green stuff is, this is a speed zone. This makes all the units speed up by X amount. It's a percentage, I'm pretty sure. I don't know how much faster they go, but they do go faster. I do believe it's a percentage. Ooh, there's a lot of drones that are gonna die here with the acceleration zone. Might be capable of escaping for a little, get a bit of a boost, but of course the Marines with the stim are also gonna get launched through this. This is really weird. 7 drones going down just now. Solar pretty much had the perfect setup and kind of ruined it for himself. Hydra then coming down. Do we have an infestation pit yet? No, we don't. Pretty slow on the hive tag. At least for Solar standards. For a lot of people, you know, starting an infestation pit over the course of the next 60 seconds would be a pretty fast hive. But Solar loves rushing into those Vipers. I think it's his favorite unit in this matchup. He's so good with it as well. The parasitic bombs, the blinding clouds, the abducts. He uses it every possible manner. As the double drop is heading into the main base and Solar is not ready for it. Oh my god. I think Solar might have gotten away with murder there. I actually believe he got away with murder. If these guys would have unloaded in the main, I think you're losing like 12, 13 workers or so. Like there was nothing defending. No Spore, just a single queen. They weren't ready for it. There's still no Spore here. I'm surprised by how calm Clem is, how passive he is with that drop actually. Just not going in there. Just wants to heal it up, I guess, for a little bit. As Clem is pulling ahead in supply, and we're heading into a very similar territory to the previous game, where I think Clem is just going to walk across the map and potentially take out Solar here. Now, this is a different follow-up strategy. As Clem has gone for the Atrax. This is the most all-in 3-base setup that Terran can go for. You can still transition out of it, especially if you macro poorly. Sometimes you're just randomly floating 400 minerals, but look at this, how low that money is. There's a lot of income. But 8 barracks are pumping, 188 supply. Let's see if Solar can do it. His Baneling count is 17. That is an okay number, actually. That is a very okay number. He gives up this forward base, which is also fine. Rocks have not been taken out as Banelings are rolling in forward. Couple of decent hits. Not great, but decent enough. And as there's still 11 Banelings alive, Clem can just push him forward onto this. There's still creep. Two tanks are being routed in here through the honestly incorrect path. Will need to be picked up and barely manages to escape. Lynx get a surround on these Marines as well. Good control there out of Solar as the Banelings roll in forward. Can these medevacs be targeted down? There's not a whole lot of energy remaining. Marines actually fairly overstimmed as the flank comes in as well. Solar is gonna be cleaning this up in a turn that no one, well, maybe Solar Shell is coming, but no one else. Before 2-2 as well, by the way. Adds in a single swarm host. No one really knows what that's for. It's probably just a misclick. Lurker. Oh, Lurker Den already. Extra gases. Lurker Den is kind of a showstopper here. You know, you get 3-4 Lurkers with seismic spines. That's game. Or game. That's the end of this push. You get a couple of Vipers out. That should also be the end of the push. Because a lot of it... they use the swarm. A lot of it hinges on the tanks doing good damage against the base. You got a kill on that swarm house? You got a kill. Nice. Well done, brother. That's cool that he uses it. Sometimes what you see is they'll borrow it over here and they just send in like Locust for the entirety of the game. And because it's just one, the Terran gets too lazy to deal with it. I don't think Clem gets too lazy. Clem is actually a very... like he's the opposite of a lazy player. You know, if something can be done to fix a problem, he'll fix it every single time. Well, there's a lot of people who are like, oh, that's annoying. There's like a lurker here, or there's an X there, there's like a burrowed unit. You know, they're like, I'll deal with that later, or I won't deal with it. I hope to win the game. But he's very good at systematically just dealing with threats. Like clean up duty first, and then we can have fun with drops. As a triple drop heads into the main base. Oh, if he can snipe down this hive, that would be a big deal. There's no Vipers out yet. That snipe. That is a big snipe. Yeah, you want to get that building back up if you perhaps end up losing your hive. Does not get the hive. Will get the piss off. Seismic spines gets cancelled, but I think Vipers are the real game changer here. Clem, by the way, is kind of crawled back into this game in an oddly quick manner. Fourth base is about to finish up as well for him. I mean, he is still down in income for now, but he's had a couple of decent trades. At least of what feels like decent trades. Overall, he's up 2k in the resources lost. Fifth base gonna get knocked out. It's a hard to defend base. There's a lot of kind of wild locations where tanks can be. And Clem has done a good enough job at denying creep as well. It makes it even harder for Solar to take these fifth bases. Alright, Vipers are now out. Lurker Den is once again being rebuilt. Fifth base is going to be reconstructed as well. Both of these players macroing like absolute beasts, by the way. Their income has been quite decent over time. And both of them is just keeping that cash low. As Hydra's in the main almost get a kill here on the medevac. I think that probably should be the end for that left side medevac attack. You can probably clear that at some point with the Vipers. Like Parasitic Bomb plus Hydraling Bane. I think should be capable of holding that. We're gonna have to see. Off creep, maybe not so much. Could cancel. Okay, it's gonna be one. Against Clem, you can do this with 3 Banes. Not off creep. It's just simply not possible. He's gonna snipe all of them every single time. As this is going to be a somewhat winning fight for Clem, although his units here lose. I think that was a good trade. Now the reinforcements come in as this base is gonna get cancelled for, honestly, it feels like a 5th time. A couple of drones are gonna fall here as well. It is possible that Clem is going too far forward, though. He's very aggressively moving on to creep, and tanks were in siege up. 2 blinding clouds on the first few tanks. None of these tanks are shooting right now, as 3-3 hadn't finished for Clem. Medevacs are gonna disappear as well. Do we have the boost on the Hydralisk? No, we don't. If there was boost here, 4 more Medevacs would just instantly die. And now they get to survive. 3-3 finishes as he lifts into the Medevacs. They'll get the upgrade while flying. As 3 new tanks do siege up and will defend this 3rd base. This is the first time, by the way, that Solar has managed to really walk across the map. Like really just past the halfway point. So despite having some leads early on in the game, about 2-3 minutes ago, we haven't really seen him put on any aggression yet. No pressure on the opponent's side of the map. Oh no. Oh no. If this is what I think it is a crazy play. This is high risk, high reward, okay? This is high risk, high reward. Good lord. Oh my god. If these guys are on hold fire, and Clem actually walks here with a significant portion of his... Oh my... Ooh. Okay, that's big already. That's just 16 supply. I love that he scans. He's like, oh, what is that? 500 spikes coming out of the ground? I wonder what that could be. I bet these Marines are real glad that you used the scan after they died. Good lord. Tank is gonna get knocked out. Oh, Solar's actually attacking here. Where's the rest of the lurkers, by the way? Did they go back into Anidas? Oh, they are gonna go back into Anidas. Oh. Supply for Solar has dropped a little bit. Yeah, Clem. This just doesn't work against Clem. Clem just sees it on the minimap and he's so ready for it. He is so ready for it. Yeah, you can't go in there, brother. There's a couple of ghosts. There's Marines, Marauders. This Overseer will need to be cancelled as well, or it will just get knocked down by these Marines. Actually, let's it finish up so he can clear it. Less money to Solar because of that. 5th base is up. Nidus Network going towards the left side. Okay, we have the Swarm host on the far left. Funnily enough, like 2 locusts over here. I don't know what they could do. Might be capable of taking out a tank. You never know. You have an 8 Marine drop on the far left. No spores in the main base still, by the way. Interesting to see. Okay, here comes a single lurker. Oh, the single lurkers. Oh, the single lurkers. Put your spines up. Okay, it's not going to do a whole lot of damage. Knight is still active on that left side. Maybe next one over here. Could see that happening, right? Could definitely see that happening. A cheeky little Nidus Worm on that far right. But there's just not so many angles to attack here. Solar, what's he doing? He's taking neutral bases right now. That's going to be his plan. This is a scary area here because tank, marine, hard to defend. This is not really a neutral base either. This is not a neutral base. So if we're going into a split map, Solar needs to have mined this base. So I appreciate that he's doing it now. Ideally, he would have done it faster. Oh, Vipers go down. And that is an important unit for Solar. That really freaking sucks. He believes he can do something here. I am not so sure if I share that belief, as Banelings are rolling into tanks. That's the last thing you want. He has cleaned up a couple of tanks. We see the tanks over on the 5th base also kind of going down. Planetary stays alive. This was a bad trade resource-wise. He needs this gold base really, really badly right now. And that basically means that for the next, I guess, 4 minutes, Solar is not allowed to ever, really, to ever give up this general area. He's not allowed to do it. This will basically be... He has 2 options here. He either needs to kill Clem, and that's possible. Clem doesn't have a whole lot of money in the bank. It's possible, but unlikely. Clem doesn't tend to die a whole lot. Or he needs to mine out that gold base completely and then go for a complete split map scenario and deny one of Clem's left side bases, perhaps. Like, that is another option that he can go for. But I think that is a rough path to victory. It is a very rough path to victory. Clem is already building up a bank. He's adding in those extra command centers. We're currently on 3 orbital commands with 2 more naked command centers, one of them turning into a planetary, one into an orbital, and 2 more on the way. So we're going to get a pretty high orbital count here. I think as the lurkers start pouncing on these ghosts, a couple of ghosts actually end up falling. Lurkers do get pushed back. So far though, Solar actually retaining that right side relatively well. This base is undefended right now. And with this base gone, his gold becomes a lot more secure as well. We do have backup command center, so it can be retaken at any point. Don't forget that. This is not a massive game changer, but it definitely has some potential. Knight is going up on the top right as well. Clem wanting to push in forward. Knows about the timing of that gold base, I believe, or at least can guess it. As we see Solar moving in. Needs some of these Banelings at least to connect with this core army, but it really doesn't. Like, the moment he loses this general position and Clem walks in, snipes this base, yeah, it's going to be rough. It's going to be real rough. Look at that income, though, that Solar is boasting. He has 4.1k mineral income. Mainly out of the back of this gold, but also just 90 workers in total. It is just very good income. So he can actually afford to take some bad trades as long as he's killing bases. Oh, can we get a parasitic bomb? Yeah, we can get a parasitic bomb. Can we get a second one? Maybe a blinding cloud here instead? Another parasitic bomb. No, blinding cloud in the middle of this army. I really am a big fan of the parasitic bombs. The blinding clouds in the middle of a very flexible army like the Bioforce, not as big a fan of. So you have a Ling run by being split off towards the far left, but we have 2 tanks, 2 liberators. This should not work. I think Solar is really just trying to kind of... What the hell is this? Oh, he's gonna get 2 tanks here. Could definitely get these 2 tanks. Oh, okay, not bad. That's actually fairly decent. Also reroutes him still and burrows. I don't think Clem is paying attention. Very well done. Solar is playing extremely quick today. Extremely quick. An average APM of 600. Clem's APM of 450. Solar's APM is of course inflated with the repeat rate stuff that a lot of pro players use. And the things they do in the registry editor. But that's a story for another time as we have another attack. This has been constant battles upon battle here on Persephone. As the Hydra's moving forward. If they can snipe this base, that would be huge. They can't, however. Look at this. First patches already starting to run out. There's some patches that are still fairly healthy. We haven't mined any of the gas, which is actually a bit of a pain point here. Lynx do unburrow. Get a couple of kills. Get like 8-9 kills. That is... It's not a huge deal, but it's like, okay, that is kind of bad. That's a huge blinding cloud here on the right side. There's 3 Lynx are going to take out 3 tanks. This is the biggest job they've ever done. We could have been looking at the left side, but the right side is, is where the real damage was being dealt, my dear friends. Clem struggling to max out right now, while Solar has established himself about a 6k resource bank. That is extremely significant. That is a significant bank. That is nothing to scoff at for Clem. Triple lips now on the way. We have Caduceus Reactor, vehicle plating, the range for turrets and planetaries. And auto turrets on the Raven as well, but I don't think we'll be seeing any of those changelings getting dropped in here. Clem is creating a fierce army though, a fierce force. 9 Ghost, 7 tanks, 4 Liberators, 65 worker supply. If he gets to max out, he's actually going to have a pretty powerful army that will be difficult for Solar to deal with. But Solar comes in once more, double tank lift up over there on the left as the Banelings try to reach their destination. And that destination is going to be to blow up on some Ghosts or some Marines. This base is actually going to fall. No, not yet, but every single wave that Solar sends in does better than the previous one. Previous wave booted Clem down to 170, 180 supply. This wave booted him down to 160. That means that I don't think Clem is going to have enough time right now to set up his defenses again, to get to a decent supply count. He tries to desperately clear the creep, but Solar is honestly never stops with it. Also is expanding towards the left. Liberator here could win a little bit of time for Clem. That is a big deal, because Clem needs time. If Clem gets to max out on 60 workers, gets a good defensive setup, and is mining from the bases that he's currently mining from, Solar could still be in trouble. Doesn't matter how big your bank is. It's all going to be about the resources lost, but Solar is not going to give Clem this time. It's going to be a fight against 180 supply of the French Terran. Solar pops in over here, and he is fine with losing a lot of units because he has the bank. He has the... Well, actually, doesn't have the larva ready. Does not have the larva ready, but he just blasts him down to 140. Clears an orbital command on the way out as well. Another knight is going up in the net. We still have 3 lurkers in here, by the way. They could be in the fight, but they're not. I guess they're not quite as useful in the fight. You can't really run at your opponent with a lurker. It's more of a holding a position type of unit. This finish up is not going to actually do anything. And at the same time, we have another battle over here. There's just no siege tanks. There's no liberators, and that will be it. Clem actually leaving without a GG as well. I had to check it just to be sure. Could of course be a mistake, but it's a mistake that he usually rarely makes, and only really makes if he's really upset about something. I've seen him do it against, I think it was against Hero, when Hero first introduced the double gas sentry opener that he's been playing for a little bit now. But that last game must have really gotten on Clem's nerves if he left the game without the formalities, so to say. See if he's going to switch up the build or kind of back to that Banshee build that he did in the first game. I'm not saying that is why he won, but it was a big portion, right? It's the Banshee damage that he dealt, the early Hellion harass as well. Kind of these two working in tandem. We're definitely going to see a starport here. I can smell it. Throw it down, brother. Ooh, no, we're not. Wow. Okay, I had not expected this at all. I really had not expected this at all. He's going to be playing the same type of build as last game. Last game he did it with 5 Hellions. I think this time it's going to be with 4 Hellions, if I'm reading this correctly. And I think I am reading this correctly. So interesting. So freaking interesting. It wasn't like the last game, early game was that bad though, was it? I mean, he had a powerful mid game with it as well. It almost felt like he won until he moved on creep with pretty much his entire force. It felt like he was in an extremely winning spot. Okay, it's actually just gonna go for 2 Hellions. Okay, so it's double Hellion into Marine. Starport Reactor. How much damage can you even get with 2 cars? I mean, theoretically none, right? I don't think it's really possible to get any damage with these cars. He's trying to be as aggressive as humanly possible with him. There's nothing here. There's nothing there. It's Solar's... His queen movement is actually pretty mediocre. His queen movement has been really mediocre this series. There's he's just always out of position. How is someone always out of position? It's like he just always gambles wrong. Look, I'm not your financial advisor, but if Solar's giving you any stock picks, then perhaps do the opposite. At least don't listen to him. Because this guy is not great when it comes to being in the right position at the right time. Roachhorn coming in there, so similar opener style as in the first game. 3 gas coming in as well. We've seen some of these... Evo Chamber. Oh, this might be the Shin build order. This could be the Shin build. A couple of weeks back, I casted a game on Amygdala, in which Shin played versus Clem. This exact opener out of Clem, by the way. I think it was 2 Hellion. It could have been 4 Hellion. I don't quite remember. It's been a couple of weeks ago. And Shin went for a Carapace, +1 Carapace, 57, 58 drone timing with Ravager, Roach, Ling. Relatively high gas. I remember thinking to myself, for a pretty low-tech comp, this is fairly high gas, and it indeed was. Let's see if it's going to be something similar here. We don't have an upgrade. Okay, it's going to be the Carapace. It's going to be the Glial Reconstitution as well. As Clem is moving forward right now with these Marines, does not want to take too much damage on them. Has stimmed once already. Tried clearing one of these queens. Doesn't quite get it as new creep tumors get thrown down there. 8 drones on the way. Okay, maybe it's just going to be a macro variation of like a similar opener. The reason why that build is so strong, by the way, against these double barracks openers is because these double barrack openers tend to have pretty low tank counts majority of the time, and they don't have banshees with them either. So if you're playing against like banshees, you can't really run across the map with like 15 roaches, right? Like the 2 banshees will like kill 4 of them before they arrive. So that's a annoying thing to deal with. We're gonna have a second factory now coming in. Infestation pit. Okay, it's actually just gonna be a macro game. Second Evo, infestation pit, Baneling nest as well. He's just... Alright. You know what? Props to you, brother. Props to you. You want to do this, you can do it. He's going to play another macro game here against Clem. We have the little... I don't know what they are. It's like little silos. Like little... I actually have no clue what they're supposed to be. I think they're supposed to be bigger. And they've been like sized down a bit. It's like when you go to the Eiffel Tower and you can buy like the miniature Eiffel Towers. These are like miniature... like water silos or something. I don't know what this is. But you can walk through it with certain units of a certain size. If you're too big, you're not allowed in. You're just not allowed in. Can't come here. That is some fat shaming right there. Sandworm is messed up. Alright. Clem somehow is actually finding some serious damage. Gonna cancel a 5th base. Kills a queen. He's gonna get 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 workers. Actually a lot of workers here. 6 workers going down. Now, of course, the mineral eco is not gonna be the biggest problem for Solar, because he does have that gold actively mining. Clem is just kind of pulling him apart though with 2 sets of medevacs. 4th base halfway done. 3 more barracks on the way over here on the 3rd. It's rare to see them placed here. It's oh, the main base is really small, that's why. It's a weirdly shaped as well. That is a weirdly shaped main base, isn't it? What the hell? Yeah, and Clem didn't build very efficiently either, but I guess it's it's one of the first things playing like, oh, this looks very hard to deal with for Zerg, by the way. Look at this. You have like freaking hellbats just kind of hanging around. Marines can move through. I guess Ling Bane can move through as well, but it will be hard to fight. Oh my god, like 5 Banes went down before they even really had the chance to breathe. They just popped. Alright, boys. Ah! You get smashed by like 12 Marines. Hello. Same time, drop heading over towards the low ground. Ravager Ling Bane will hold on for now. So tank comes in from the left. The pathing on this map, a little bit difficult. A little bit difficult as the hive is about to finish up right now. We have a fort base flying over towards his gold. Clem starts working on the empathy debris. And so they all go down at the same time. They are in pain together. When we go down, we go down together. Ultralisk Cavern. So this is the plan that he wanted to go for in the first game. Did not get to it. He died before. I'm not sure if that's due to the plan or because, you know, he was just not playing so well. I think this time he might actually survive to the Ultras. I do feel like Clem is in a lead. One of the Banelings there hit, but did not manage to finish the job with a second Baneling. Planetary here on the gold is going to be mining as this drop is still alive. It's so annoying. Vipers finally pop out. Will be capable of getting some of that anti-air parasitic bomb on the medevac. This is an awkward position. There's no flank coming from the top. This is a mistake. This is simply just a mistake. This had to be an attack coming from multiple angles. And whether that's coming from here or even from just this ramp, that would have been fine too. But running in there, no, I don't think you can. Marine count is extremely high. Bane count is fairly low as Clem with some good split is going to take a massive supply lead here in this game. Is up 2 upgrades as well. Parasitic bomb now hits. Can he throw in another one? Ooh, a lot of these medevacs fairly low, but here come the reinforcements. The cavalry arrives exactly when it wants to, and Clem wanted it to arrive right now. Ultras are about to pop, but without chitinous plating, without the anabolic synthesis, they're not even going to be that great. Baneling count is non-existent. I think Solar just accidentally died here. It is a tough map to survive on, though. Holy crap. There's a lot of good tank positions. This push-out path through the middle is rough as well. But once again, we saw no run-bys towards the third. We saw really no counter-aggression here out of Solar, and he will be paying the price. GG gets called as he wins the series. Clem wins the series 2-1.